Today we're going to start the first step in teaching Cortado how to long line. Here we go. Long lining is so important in training your horse to ride because when they're little, for one thing, you can start it. Cortado's going to be 1.5 years next month, so he's not quite 1.5 years. We've already done a lot of lead line training, so that's out of the way. That's step one. So now we're going to move on to long lining, and that will just get him used to me being behind him, so now he's leading. And also it teaches him to steer with reins, stop, stand, back up, and all those important things that you really need the horse to know before you get on its back to ride it. You don't want to get on there and it starts bucking and it doesn't know how to steer, it doesn't know how to stop, it doesn't know any commands. Yikes. Don't do that. I made this halter, and the reason I love this halter and the reason I made it the way I did is I love these big rings on the cheek piece. And they're there so I can hook the reins to it. A lot of halters will just have a little thick square there. You can't really have room to hook your reins. This part is a surcingle. And the reason you need a surcingle is because it has these loops at the top, these rings attached to it. It's kind of stiff at the top. And it makes like a little V, so it fits right on there, kind of like a weak saddle tree. And anyway, you have the rings at the top to hold the reins up and in place, so they're not dangling down by the horse's feet. So you got to have a surcingle, and then it just has that little saddle part. They even call that a saddle too. And then you have the girth underneath. So you just put that on there, and it's padded, so you don't need a saddle blanket or anything like that under it. The biggest mistake people make when they start to long line their horse is they're scared. So they're back here or even further. No, that's not the way you do it. That just is a sloppy, confusing mess to the horse, and it feels abandoned up there. So you gotta suck it up and be brave and have your horse attached to you well enough so you can be up here. You want to be to the side so he can see you and you can reassure him. He trusts me, so he trusts me by his butt. Now, that's not to say he won't ever make a mistake. He might, but I'm going to take that chance, and we're going to take that chance together. And in a way, I'm like, please, Mommy's here, I love you. Because you're going to be moving these lines, and these lines are going to be touching them. Sometimes they're going to be on that side, sometimes they're going to be on this side. We're going to switch sides. We're going to the left, I'm going to be over here. If we go to the right, I'm going to switch over here. So he has to be used to seeing me switching because the horse can't see directly behind it. So he's got to trust me enough to go back and forth through his blind spot back there. This is the first time I've ever put this on him. He's not even seen this stuff before. So he's doing so good. So I'm going to just, before I unhook him and even try to take him into the arena, I'm going to do this with him. Because the confusing part for them is going to be me back here saying, go forward. And he's going to be like, what? Where are you? Because I've always been up there leading him. Now I want him to lead. And that switch over is hard for the horse to wrap their head around. Of course, they can learn it. They learn it. And they learn it pretty fast if you do it nice and you do it right. In just a minute or two, after I go back and forth a little bit, I'm going to pull on the line. And even though he's tied, I'm just going to ask him to turn his head the tiniest bit. So we'll see how he does on the line. So right now, I'm just going to see. Of course, they always want to back up first. That's their first answer. To you pull, they're like, what, back up? They don't know yet. There he does it. Good boy. Good boy. Can you see his lips pursed together? Like he's thinking. It's like, I'm thinking what's going on over here. At first, you got to be happy with baby steps. So now, and never tie these around. Don't tie them. They get caught on something. You want them just to go. Some people tie them. They put them around their neck or their neck and their shoulder. And I'm like, That's not a good idea, because if that horse bolts, guess who's going with it? I want to make a point to everybody is never let go of your lines. So if I go like this with these lines, let's just say I put him right here because I want to go up to his head. I grab this line. Never let go, because your horse can take off and then you're going to have these lines a mess, and who knows where it's going to run to with long lines running behind it. So never ever let go of your lines. Some people, I've seen them, they'll do this and then they'll like just start talking or whatever, and I'm just like, oh, that's an accident waiting to happen. Okay, so I did this lesson right here just so he understands what it feels like to get the surcingle on, clip the long lines on, me going back and forth, swinging it, slowly just barely turning his head both directions. So he's like, oh, okay, I kind of get this rein thing. Next, I'm going to bring him into the arena. And I'm going to have, you know, I'm not going to say cones because I just have like bleach bottles or whatever as markers, but we'll just call them cones. And so then I'm just going to do a pattern around the cones, very slowly, only at a walk, a very short session. So that is the next step I'm going to do with them. And I get so much nervous excitement when I work with them because it's so fun. And I look forward to it so much. I have to like try to calm myself down and be a little neutral, you know, because I just have so much nervous excitement. Really, it's excitement, but so I can't wait to do that next, and can't wait, and Scott will film it. Thanks for watching. Click the subscribe button and ring the bell. Happy homesteading. Bye-bye.